what makes you so good? What's the breakdown of the strengths and weaknesses of Hikaru Nakamura?
So I think probably my biggest strength is that I'm a universal player. I can play pretty much any opening strategy. It doesn't really matter. Beyond that, I think it's mainly that I don't really make many blunders. I don't make blunders unless I'm under a lot of pressure generally. So that, I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying. It's not as simple as
Does
that
this
or that
apply
easy.
to Blitz as well?
I think it's much more applicable to Blitz in particular because my intuition is very good. So when I'm making less blunders with limited time on the clock, my opponents actually make a lot more blunders. That's why I think it's much more pronounced in Blitz than it is in classical chess. Because in Blitz, when you're down to like 10 seconds in the game, both players have 10 seconds. My intuition is just better than theirs. I mean, Magnus maybe not so clear, but like if you look at other players, say Fabiano Caruana, a very strong player, when he gets down to 10 seconds or in these situations, he almost always makes a blunder. Almost always. So I'm just more precise. I make less blunders, and that's really the effect is much more dramatic in Blitz.
What do you think that intuition is? Like, sorry for the kind of like almost philosophical question. What is that? Is that calculation, or is it some kind of weird memory recall? What is that? Like being able to do that short line prediction.
I think that's just playing so many games online, and there's some kind of subconscious feel that I have. Because when you're that low on time, you can't calculate. It's just you have to look, you just have to figure out what's the move you want to play is, no calculation, and just go with it. And I think just playing so many games, probably, I mean, I'm guessing I've played over 300,000 games online, and I think just playing all those games, it's a feel. There's no tangible way that I can't put that really into words. It's just a feel.
What do you visual? And we should say that you're, I think, currently the number one ranked Blitz player in the world. You have been for a while. You're unquestionably one of the great. So the classical, rapid, and Blitz. You're one of the best people for many years in the world. Okay, but you're currently number one in Blitz. Um, so I'd love to kind of for you to dig into the secret to your success in Blitz. Is it, as you're saying, that intuition, being able to, when the time is short, to not make blunders and then to make a close to optimal move?
I think it's generally that I'm able to keep the games going no matter what until we're low on time. I'm always able to do that.
Yeah.
Like if we play a game with 3 minutes, like there are games that I will just win very quickly, but a lot of games between top players have to think, you have to use time, and in those final critical stages, I just don't blunder. I just don't blunder really at the end of the day. That's really the only difference because everybody's very strong, but it's sort of like who is the better like brain, who is the better like CPU, or for lack of a better way of putting it, it's like who makes those split second decisions the best. And I do think that I'm extremely good at that in a way that almost nobody else is. That really is the only difference, is that those split second decisions, because you can get a worse position, but again, if you keep the game going, players have to use the time. When you get down to those final 10-15 seconds, I almost always end up winning in those situations.
What are you visualizing? Like what in those when you're doing the fast calculations? What is it?
It's basically you look at a move and you see, like when it's like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, you play a move and you just make sure that it's not a blunder. You just look, make sure it's not a blunder, and you just go with it. And the first part though is the feel. So it's like I see this move and it looks right. I don't know why it's right. I can't put that into words, but it looks like the right move. And then I look very for like a split second, see as long as it's not some kind of blunder, and you just play that move.
Is there a bit of a tunnel vision? Are you able to understand the positions of all the other pieces on the board, or are you just focusing in on a very specific interaction?
It's just feel. It's really just feel. It's like this move feels right, and so I play it. When you're at that stage of the game, it's like as long as it's not a blunder, and it just that it's just that feel. There is no way for me to put that in.
And that feel, like empirically, does result in low probability of blunder for you.
Yeah,
So like you don't blunder,
yeah.
even though there could be like you don't forget like a random piece that was like
Very. I mean, it does happen, of course, but very rarely. And I mean, I've done it on stream many times. Like it's just you go with the move that for whatever reason, like it just you intuitively, whether it's from playing hundreds of thousands of games on the internet, or just that experience, like you just intuitively can feel like the move is right.